Good morning. This is Barbara, the East Coast Dragon Lady, coming to you on a very rainy, chilly Saturday here in the northeast of the United States. I'm in a different location as well. I just posted earlier on my Facebook group that I was up much too early for me on a Saturday, but my son had an energy healing session sort of fairly early. Well, it was early for him, a 9 a.m. Healing session on Zoom. So I was up early and I thought, while I'm up and there's not much I can do outside, because last weekend I was working outside. That's the crazy weather we're having here in the northeast, right? We've had snow, we've had all sorts of, and I have family visiting at the end of next week, and I promised them that I would put in an order for warmer weather when they get here. But I also have to point out they're British, so they don't want it too hot. So 70-ish would be quite nice. So my brother can wear shorts, but he won't feel out of place here in Massachusetts anyway. So I thought, as I have been down here doing my spring cleaning, I have a living room area which is off the kitchen. It's open plan, my condo, and it's sort of got taken over. I call it the gym and the cats. So it's a gym / the cat's house. It's all cat stuff, and then my older son's workout gear, bench lifting stuff. And I'm like, I'd actually like it to look sort of somewhat like a living room. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple of hours. And as you know, once you start moving things and cleaning, and of course, since I lost the dog, I'm still cleaning up, lots of areas with him. He, as he got older, he would often pee in the house. So, those sort of things. I upset the cat completely because I was in her domain and she was jumping from place to place. She doesn't like me using the vacuum or the wet vac. So she's settled down now. So that was sort of my morning. And also yesterday, which was a complete surprise. So a lot of you know that we lost our little Minpin. He passed, went across the Rainbow Bridge a couple of weeks ago, and yesterday, and of course this would be me, I sometimes have what I call senior moments. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. So a parcel arrived, and it was around about 5 o'clock, and I looked at it and I'm like, what did I order? And I'm sure some of you have had, like, I order things off Amazon and I forget I've ordered them. And as I was opening it, and it was wind chimes, and I was like, I don't remember, why would I have ordered wind chimes, even though I needed some wind chimes, some more wind chimes, I should say. And when I pulled it out and opened it, it was actually from my work colleagues who had heard that I'd actually lost my dog. And they had sent me a beautiful wind chimes so that when they actually chime, we will remember Diesel. So that sort of, it was another something I wasn't expecting, but I was still laughing at the fact that I thought it was something I may have ordered. So there you go, that's what happens. So it's been an interesting week. It seems to have gone by really, really fast. Again, I've also had, actually, my work has been busy, and so has my my energy business as well, which is nice. So I've been doing some readings, and I've checked in with a few people. So again, if you're interested in a reading, if you want some energy work or you're not sure, I do a 45-minute clarity call. I'm sitting here looking out my window, and the catbirds have just arrived. So I'm here in the northeast of England. I'm not in the northeast. I'm in the United States. I might say the northeast of England. I'm in the northeast, and a lot of birds migrate from here, and my favourite, even though they're not much to look at, they're two-tone grey. Catbirds, every year or at least for the last 3 or 4 years, I have the catbirds visit. They actually sound like a cat meowing. That's why they're called. It's almost like a screeching sound. But they also had some babies. So I'm sure I had about 6 of them last year. I know 2 were pairs. So as I'm sitting here, I can see out the corner of my eye. I still get excited. Like the blue jay has been visiting, and he's pretty quick. I can't always get a photo of him. I also have a red-faced finch, which I've not had before, and also a bluebird appeared a couple of weeks ago. And of course, they all show up hungry. So my feeders are usually busy most of the day. So I started doing it during COVID. It was one of my things that I was home all the time, and I often would sit at this table for work, and I put up feeders, and I've become quite the bird watcher, I will say, which is nice. Other than we've got some starlings that come and they're European starlings, and they come and bully all the other birds. And I've got a few squirrels that try and get in on the first wave of food that I put out. And we've got a resident chipmunk that I've had, again, for quite a few years. And I don't think there was 2 of them, and then one of them died. So, yeah, that's my wildlife, which is what is interesting here. So I am actually, in a few hours, so Dragon Thunder will be this year. So those of you that have met me several years ago when Dragon Thunder first started, we're our 3rd year. I actually have a meeting with all the hosts. So I'm hosting the USA again with Kelly Springer, and I will I did put something on my Facebook page with the website to sign up. It's July 13th, and it will be from Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 to, it's 8 hours after that. I think 9 hours. So I will get my strength up for that. I'm also planning an in-person trip again out to Western Mass. I just had a fabulous conversation yesterday with the 2 people that put on the event that I went to, and I'm going to be out there actually doing some in-person work with them, which is really exciting. I'm actually on the Saturday that I'm out there. They do past life regression. They are going to regress me, bring in my dragons, and we're going to have a conversation in front of an audience. So as soon as I get that information, I will post it. The event will be free, but I will be there with my oracle decks for sale, and for my oracle decks for sale. And we're not quite sure of the timing. If I have time, I will do readings, but I think that's exciting. So, and I'm going to plan as well to do probably another fair sometime late summer in the fall. A couple have popped up, but they've been too close to one another. So anyway, stay tuned. I've got into the swing of doing in person. It's, since COVID, I haven't done any in-person stuff. So, oh yes, then I also have another psychic fair in June. Anyway, I'll post that as well. That's local to me. That's my friend Annie's sister, Jerry, and her husband, who run the Spiritualist Church on the North Shore, and they're going to have a psychic event with vendors. So I'm going to be doing some readings there. So yeah, a few things on the horizon for me, which is good. I have to thank the dragons. I think I told you this story, that when I saw this event out in Western Mass, I was like, oh, I'd really like to go, but that's sort of too far. It's a 2-hour drive. And the dragon said, no, you need to go to that. I had no idea why I needed to go. It was a fabulous event. It was a bit too much driving to go out and back. And I said to myself, because it was 2 hours drive there, 2 hours back, and 3-4 hours at the event. So it was a long day. And I was thinking, if I come out here again, I need to stay overnight because it would be easier and it wouldn't be so tiring. And they've kindly offered me to stay the night. So I'm going out on a Friday afternoon and staying overnight Friday and doing an event on Saturday. And that's East Hampton, Northampton. But stay tuned for more details. So I thought I would, as I'm sitting at a bigger table, I have been doing the Christ consciousness this week. I felt very drawn to do that, and I've been pulling a card each day and doing a short video about that deck. That was from Amanda Ellis. So let's see what the dragons are telling us about. The Dragons and the Fairies. Let's see what they're... Merlin. So Merlin came up yesterday, and we were talking about him, so I'm not surprised that he is going to be here this week. So let's do another 2 dragon cards. And, Air Dragon. Rise above. So I'm hearing as above, so below. And let's do one more. This is the Ancient Elder Dragon, moving beyond our ancestral patterns. So that's about healing our past, present, and future ancestral lifetimes. So if we can heal our present and our past, it will clear up for not just for us, but for anybody else in those timelines. So we've got Merlin, the Air Dragon, and the Ancient Elders. And let's see. The fairies usually love to give me a few cards. So let's see what they have to tell us about this upcoming week. I do hope it warms up. I'm actually taking some time off work when my brother's here. The first one is, Dreams Come True. That's a pretty card. Make music. Higher consciousness. I like that. I'll tap into that in a minute. So let's see, another one. Trust your intuition. Pinks and purples today. Let's do one more. Look inside yourself. That's a good message. So look inside yourself, and it's green, so it's earth. So we've got the earth dragon, the earth card here, and the fairies, because they're very earthbound, and the air dragon. So again, as I said, as above, so below. So the air dragon is about rising above everything, rising above the chaos, rising above what's bothering us. Rising is what they're saying. We need to go higher. They're saying go higher. We've got higher consciousness. So they're encouraging us to, the air dragons are coming in and saying they can lift us up. And as we go higher, we can tap into our higher selves, our higher consciousness, and they're reminding us to listen. They're saying, I talked about this yesterday, and it always, I don't think you can repeat this too much, about sitting in stillness and peacefulness and quiet your mind so that you can hear the answers to your questions. I frequently get that. They're also saying don't forget to tap into the core. I talk about this a lot, but really connecting, going as deep down as the core, which is through many layers, is putting those roots down. And this consciousness here, if you see all of these, if you view the roots of you, which is the tree, go out and spread out, and then they go down, 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 as far as you can go, as far as you're comfortable going. Not everybody's comfortable going that deep. And then you can see the core, which is dark, which is the very dark core of the earth. And then this is how I see it. The roots hit and then they go in and you're connected. And once you've got that locked in, as I say, lock and loaded, it's like locked in and twisted. It's like you are connected to every single thing. And it makes our consciousness like huge. It goes out as far as we can and up as far as we can and below us. So always balancing, as above, so below. So that's what they're showing me. Look inside yourself. It's always good to remember to do that. Trust your intuition. So all that second guessing, you know, like somebody told me that they will second, or a lot of us do it. You get a message, and instead of saying, oh, right, that's the message, you start second guessing what you should and what you shouldn't do. So trust the messages you're getting is what I'm hearing. Make music. So I don't play an instrument. I used to years ago. Actually, I learned to play the violin, which I wouldn't even know where to start now. But I remember in school learning to play the violin. I couldn't even play the guitar. I have small hands, and when it came to, and it was the same with piano. I had a friend who played beautifully the piano. My hands were so small I couldn't, you know, cross the octaves. I think that's what they're called. And on a guitar, my fingers weren't long enough to get all the way across. So yeah, I had trouble with musical instruments. And I'm not a small person. I was 5'6". I'm 5'5" now, but small hands. So make music, and I think music again, it often for some people, you know, they're showing me actually coming out of our brain, the brain waves change. Because it is, if we can get the right frequency, they're saying look for the frequency that speaks to you, and you can go onto YouTube and look at all those frequencies, but tap into the one that speaks to you, and then use that to still yourself. So we're going back to the, reaching your higher consciousness, but use whatever music. For me, for the longest time, and probably still, to motivate myself, if I listen to 70s, 80s rock music, that will get me going. If I need motivation, but it wouldn't be a good type of music to settle me down. I do like some of the softer music for that. And then dreams coming true. So I think for all of us, we've all been working so very hard for such a long time, and they're actually nodding and saying, yes, you all have. You've all been putting in the work. It is time for our dreams to come true. So focus on that for this week is what I'm hearing. They're saying focus on what you want, even if you think that it is far off. They're saying write it down and keep it somewhere prominent. I love Post-its because it reminds me about things, but Post-its, affirmations. I shared some, not last week, the week before, we did that self-love, 5 days of self-love. Find affirmations that speak to you, but write down what in an ideal words is they're showing me like a pad and saying, write down what it is that you would absolutely love your life to be, and then aim for it. I've said over the years that I have very high expectations. Certainly when I was supervising nurses and all the other jobs I've had, I used to say, my expectation is that you will meet 100%. You're not necessarily going to meet it, but if I was only at 50%, you would only reach 30. So I expect 100%, and I expect people to, will stretch to that, because once we start lowering our standards, then everybody else they're not held accountable. So it may be a bit of old school, because I was in nursing school in the 70s, the early 70s, and it was certainly, my nurse's training was very old school. I trained at a private hospital, actually at the Royal Masonic Hospital in London, and yeah, it was very, like, men weren't allowed, even our fathers weren't allowed in the nurses' quarters. So interesting, because now I'm learning about Freemasons, in 2025. And I didn't know, my uncle was a Freemason that sponsored me to go there. So again, interesting connection. So I won't even go on about that. So I hope everybody has had a good week. Check out they were 5-6 minute videos about the Christ consciousness, and very fitting for the week. We know it's crazy out there. There's a lot of chaos. It's rise above it. Don't listen. There's not much we can do to change what's going on right now. That's my philosophy. I'm just rising above it. I'm holding, the space, and this too shall pass is what I'm hearing. So I hope everybody has a good week. If something comes up tomorrow, I'll jump on. But look out for my regular Oracle deck, Oracle reading tomorrow and next week. I will be back soon. Have a good week. Bye.